Welcome back. Here with us on Urban Debate on Mirror Now, and joining us on the broadcast right now is Mr. RK Singh, Union Power Minister. Thank you very much, Mr. RK Singh, for joining us here on Mirror Now this evening. Firstly, I want to ask you your view on the big budget announcements. Do you think it is a budget for growth?
No, in fact, I think it's a great budget. And, even despite the pandemic, our rate of growth has been robust. It has been one of the highest in the world. And this budget will further increase the rate of growth. You see, what is remarkable about this budget is that the Finance Minister has made provision for an increase in capital expenditure in the budget by almost about 35.5% if you take the central budget alone. And if you take the subvention to the states for investment, it increases to 10.8 lakh crores. That's against 5.5 lakh crores in the previous year. So this huge increase in capital investments will lead to an increased rate of growth, will lead to increased employment. And, all this has happened without her having to increase taxes. I think it's a great budget.
Has the budget done enough to spur job growth in the country, which is also the need of the hour?
Absolutely. You can't have investments without, and that also capital expenditure and capital investments without job creation. I mean, if I construct a hydropower plant, I will create thousands of jobs during the construction, and a few thousand after the construction in operations. So every capital investment on projects leads to creation of jobs. It leads to expenditure, which leads to further multiplier effect on the economy. For example, if I set up a hydro project or a thermal power plant project or a renewable energy project, I'll be creating demand for steel, I'll be creating demand for cement. This will lead to increase in cement capacity, increase in steel capacity. So everything, all investment leads to growth in jobs.
But Mr. RK Singh, the middle class is disappointed because the understanding is that nothing specific has been done to help the middle class, also badly impacted by pandemic in the last 2 years. The expectation was that something will be done to put more money in the pockets of the salaried class, the middle class specifically.
What I'm surprised at, somebody like Mr. Chidambaram, who is held the finance portfolio for some time, how he has managed to ignore the salient points of the budget. Now, what are the salient investments which has been provided for in the budget is for construction of 80 lakh homes under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for the poor. Now, that will lead to an investment of 48,000 crores in the rural areas, and again spur demand in cement, steel, etc., leading to growth in this economy and the industries. They have ignored the investment of 60,000 crores in drinking water, the Har Ghar Nal Se Jal for the poor. I mean, how can you ignore all this? And, the provision of 2,37,000 crores for MSP. They don't talk about it. This is Aam Aadmi, for God's sake. I mean, MSP is for the farmers. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is for the poor. This Aam Aadmi, for God's sake, they don't talk about it. I mean, just, by rote, they say that, nahi sahab, so this is budget which does not take care of the Aam Aadmi. Despite the fact that we had 2.5 years of corona, we've come through that. Despite that fact, because of investments, the rate of growth has not been allowed to slacken, and we have been able to provide free food to the poor under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana right up till March 22. I mean, for 2.5-3 years. No other country has done that. They ignore all that. All this is for whom? For the Aam Aadmi. So what are they talking about? I want to know. The tax, and this is without raising the taxes. Yes.
But sir, at the same time, subsidies have been slashed as well. By doing that, hasn't the government denied, in fact, relief to poor, which have also been impacted by pandemic?
Now tell me, what do you call populist? I mean, if the budget provides for construction of homes for the poor, what is that? And if the budget provides for, the water connections, 3 crore 80 lakh houses, what is that? I mean, what do you call popular? If the budget provides for 2,37,000 crores for MSP, what is that? It's for the people. It's for the people. Of course, we are not. The budget does not squander money. It gives money where it is required.
Okay, and we also didn't hear anything about, achieving that target of $5 trillion economy by 2024-25 in the budget announcement. What really happened to that plan?
Absolutely. You see, already our rate of growth is amongst the fastest amongst all the major economies in the world. And this will further increase our rate of growth. And I foresee this budget spurring almost a rate of growth which is almost near double digits or almost double digits. This is what the economy, will be. I mean, that's the rate of the growth of of the economy. So we are going to take off. Yes.
All right. So thank you very much for joining us here on Mirror Now this evening.